You know, Americans love to say they built this country themselves. And I mean, yes, technically. But a little help from some Germans didn't hurt either. Actually, it helped. Enormously. Hello, willkommen, and welcome back to German American Life and Vibes, the channel where we celebrate the most beautiful, complicated, delicious friendship between two countries that, honestly, should just hug more often. I'm your host, and today we have a very special episode. We are talking about four extraordinary Germans. Two men, two women, who didn't just visit America, didn't just like America. They changed it. Forever. Like, fundamentally. Like, you would not recognize the place without them changed it. And the beautiful thing, most Americans have never heard their names. So today, we fix that. Also, one of them, and I won't say who yet, once made an entire nation talk about things that people definitely did not discuss at the dinner table. You'll see. Let's go. It is the winter of 1778. Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, and the Continental Army, George Washington's brave but completely exhausted soldiers, are falling apart. They are cold. They are hungry. Their boots have holes in them. Men are deserting. Disease is spreading. And honestly, the whole American Revolution is looking like it might just not work out. And then a German shows up. Friedrich Wilhelm August Heinrich Ferdinand von Steuben. Yes, Germans do love a good long name. He was a Prussian military officer, brilliant, tough as nails, and he had heard about Washington's desperate situation. So he traveled across the ocean in the middle of winter to help. Now here is the part that I absolutely love. Baron von Steuben, he did not speak English, not a word. And the soldiers? They did not speak German. So he drilled them through a translator. He taught them military formations, how to march, how to fire, how to use a bayonet properly, all of it, through a translator. Every single day, in the freezing cold. And when the translator was not fast enough, von Steuben started swearing at the soldiers in German and French. Because apparently he knew those words in every language. And the soldiers, even though they didn't understand a single word, they got the message. There is something very universal about a furious German telling you to move your feet faster. But here is the real story. Within weeks, von Steuben had transformed a ragged, exhausted, barely functioning army into a disciplined fighting force. He wrote the first military training manual for the United States Army. That manual was used for decades. He essentially invented the American soldier as we know it. Washington called him indispensable. The Continental Congress gave him a sword and a pension. And today, there are statues of von Steuben in Washington, D.C., in Chicago, and New York City. America owes its independence, at least in part, to a German man who couldn't even ask for directions in English. You're welcome, America. You're welcome. Okay, quick question. Are you wearing jeans right now? Because if you are literally wearing the invention of a young man from Buttenheim, Bavaria, a small Franconian village that most people in Germany have never even heard of. His name was Levi Strauss, born 1829 in Bavaria, emigrated to America during the gold rush. Not to mine gold, but to sell supplies to the miners. Because, and this is very German smart, he figured out that not everyone finds gold, but everyone needs pants. In 1873, together with a tailor named Jacob Davis, Levi Strauss patented the riveted blue jeans. The copper rivets at the stress points, the pockets, the button fly, so the pants wouldn't tear when miners bent over, climbed, worked hard, practical, durable, Bavarian. Today, 150 years later, there is not a country on this planet where you cannot find someone in blue jeans. Jeans are worn by presidents, by teenagers, by rock stars, by grandmothers, by people at weddings they probably shouldn't have worn jeans to. You know who you are. The Levi Strauss & Company brand is worth billions. And it all started with one young Bavarian man who looked at the California gold rush and thought, these people need better trousers. Levi Strauss never found gold, but he gave the world something arguably more valuable, the perfect pair of jeans. And for that, humanity is deeply, genuinely grateful. Now, if Friedrich von Steuben is the hero of this story and Levi Strauss is the entrepreneur, then our next German is simply iconic. And I don't use that word lightly. Marie Magdalene Marlene Dietrich, born in Berlin 1901, Actress, singer, the kind of woman who walked into a room and everyone else suddenly forgot what they were doing. She exploded onto the world stage in 1930 with the film The Blue Angel, and Hollywood came calling immediately. She moved to America, became a star, became an icon of cool that honestly has never been matched. But here is where the story gets serious and important. When the Nazis rose to power in Germany, Adolf Hitler personally wanted Marlene Dietrich to come back to Germany, to be the face of the Third Reich, to make propaganda films. He sent people to her. Multiple times. She said no. Every time. She renounced her German citizenship. She became an American citizen in 1939. And then, this is the part that gives me chills every single time. She spent years during World War II touring with the USO, performing for Allied troops on the front lines, in North Africa, in Italy, in France, in Germany itself after the war. She sang for the boys who were fighting against her birth country, because she understood that the country she was born in and the regime that had taken it over were two completely different things. She loved Germany, the real Germany, and she despised what it had become. The soldiers loved her. She was fearless. After the war, Germany was complicated about Marlene Dietrich for a long time. There were people who called her a traitor. It broke her heart. She rarely returned, and in the end, she asked to be buried in Berlin, which she was in 1992. Today, Berlin has named a square after her, Marlene Dietrich Platz, right next to the Potsdamer Platz. And she has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She belonged to both countries. She was bigger than both countries. There will never be another Marlene. And now, we come to my personal favorite. Are you ready? Because this one she is just, okay. Picture this, 1980s America. Very conservative. Ronald Reagan is president. People do not talk about certain things on the radio, especially not in detail, especially not cheerfully, especially not with a thick German accent and an enormous smile. Enter Dr. Ruth Westheimer. She was born Carola Ruth Siegel in Frankfurt am Main, Germany in 1928. As a young Jewish girl during the Holocaust, she was sent to Switzerland on a Kindertransport, a children's rescue transport, at age 10. She survived the war. She lost most of her family. She studied in Israel and Paris. She was a trained sniper for the Haganah. By the way, let that sink in. And then eventually she came to New York City. She became a sex therapist. And in 1980, she got a 15-minute late-night radio slot in New York to talk about human sexuality. Openly, clinically, warmly, and with complete, unshakable German directness. The response was enormous. People were calling in from everywhere. They had questions. So many questions. Questions they had never been able to ask anyone before. Dr. Ruth, 4 foot 7 inches tall, 70-something years old, grandmother energy, German accent you could cut glass with, became the most famous sex therapist in the history of America. She had her own television show. She wrote dozens of books. She was on every talk show, every magazine cover. Johnny Carson loved her. David Letterman loved her. America loved her. Because she was never crude. She was never embarrassing. She was warm, wise, funny, and completely without shame about the most human parts of being human. She talked about these things the way a brilliant, kind doctor talks to a patient, with total respect and zero judgment. And her backstory: a Jewish girl from Frankfurt who survived the Holocaust, who lost her parents, who rebuilt herself from nothing, who came to America and made it her home and gave that home something genuinely valuable. That is not just a remarkable career. That is a remarkable life. Dr. Ruth passed away in July 2024. She was 96 years old. And to the very end, she was still giving interviews, still laughing, still telling people to talk more openly about love, about connection, about being human. Rest well, Dr. Ruth. Frankfurt and New York are both proud of you. So, there you have it. A Prussian general who couldn't speak English, but trained the American army into existence. A Bavarian tailor who put the whole world in blue jeans. A Berlin actress who chose courage over comfort and defied an entire regime. And a tiny, magnificent woman from Frankfurt who gave America permission to be honest about what it means to be human. 4 Germans. 4 completely different stories. 4 people who looked at America and said, I can make something here. I can give something here. That is, I think, what the relationship between Germany and America has always been at its best. Not just politics, not just economics, but people. Real people, with real stories, crossing an ocean and bringing something of themselves with them. And both countries are richer for it. Of course, this friendship goes both ways. And next time, we flip the script. We are talking about four Americans who changed Germany forever. And I'm not just talking about the Marshall Plan, though yes, that is on the list. We are talking about a man who gave Germany its sound, about an American influence that Germans pretend to resist, and absolutely do not resist. You do not want to miss that one. Trust me, if this episode made you smile, made you think, maybe made you a little proud of both countries, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment below. Tell me, which of these four surprised you the most? I genuinely want to know. Tschüss for now. And remember, German-American friendship is old, it is deep, and it is absolutely worth celebrating. Bis bald.